Hey real women of Philadelphia, welcome to my kitchen. Today's recipe is called Two Hearts Pasta. Now how it got its name was, actually I created it for my husband. This is a recipe that we actually love, but the reason it's called Two Hearts is because this recipe I think is how I won his heart back. Really easy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a half a cup of mayonnaise to a bowl here. Like I said, this is actually the sauce that we're going to use to coat the pasta with. Okay, next I'm going to mix up, it is a 1 ounce package of a ranch dressing mix, and it's just the powder that I'm going to add to the mayonnaise that we just put in here. And of course, next is going to be what actually won my heart, which is Philadelphia cream cheese. I truly love this stuff. In addition to my husband, of course, I have his heart too. But I love Philadelphia cream cheese. We're going to add 8 ounces of a softened Philadelphia cream cheese to our to our sauce here. It's kind of softened. Like I said, as you can see how easy this comes together. As I was saying earlier, I married my husband back in 1990. We got a divorce in 1998. We were only married for 8 years. Right away, we realized that was a mistake, that we should have never gotten divorced, and wanted to get back together. Unfortunately, right after that, my husband Stephen had moved in with his parents to help take care of his dad. His dad had been a little sick and just needed a little extra care. Nothing major, but just a little bit. So that was just it worked out good for them. But immediately right after that, in 1999, my husband's father, he had a hemorrhage on the brain and was actually hospitalized for 4 months in the hospital. So when he came home, right before that, my husband had asked me to marry him. Actually, right before the hemorrhage on the brain, we discussed getting remarried. Because, like I said, we realized that was a mistake and that we really wanted to be back together and married again. So then right after that is when the father had the hemorrhage on the brain in 1999. And we thought he'd be in the hospital just a few weeks and he would be home, good to go, no problem. Unfortunately, he said he was hospitalized for 4 months. After he did come home from the hospital, after those 4 months, he required 24-hour care around the clock. And that was more than my mother-in-law could take care of. So it was just kind of like a blessing in disguise that my husband was there because my father-in-law could not walk unassisted at all. So there again, my husband was there, my ex-husband at the time was there, and we had already discussed getting remarried. Of course, his first priority was he had promised his dad and his mother that he would stay and help take care of them. But 10 years later, his father did finally pass away. I shouldn't say finally, his father did pass away back in 2007. So after his father passed away, we thought, okay, we can now proceed on with our wedding plans again to get remarried. So let me tell you about some of our ingredients while I'm telling you this sad sob story here. I'm going to next add, I've incorporated my my cream cheese, my ranch dressing, my mayonnaise into here. Next I'm going to add 2 cups of frozen English peas in here. Anyway, 2007, his dad passed away. My father-in-law, William West, passed away. So there again, like I said, we began to incorporate working on our wedding plans. Next, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of garlic salt. June 21st, 2008, we were to be married on a beach in Hawaii called Heaven's Point. For the wedding, there were no seats available, and there weren't going to be any seats available for months. So I thought, okay, there goes my Heaven's Point, no getting married in Hawaii as I had planned. Okay, next I'm going to add 4 ounces of a diced pimentas that I drained really, really good. So I thought, okay, I'm in the wedding business. I make wedding cakes. I help plan weddings. I'm an event planner in addition to paralegal. So I thought, okay, we can fix this problem. This is not a problem. I really wanted to go to Hawaii. I really wanted to get married there. But if that didn't work, it's okay. I still wanted that date, and that date did not have any meaning to me other than that's just the date we had chosen, and that's the date I wanted to stick with. So I have a brother-in-law that's in the event planning business also that has a event that have a beautiful wedding chapel that's surrounded in the middle of the woods on a beautiful lake that is surrounded by just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of beautiful azaleas with waterfalls and all. Just perfect, perfect setting. Beautiful rock wall little wedding chapel, beautiful stained glass. The only problem is this wedding chapel will only hold 40 to 45 people, which of course, if you know my family, that's perfect. My husband has 6 brothers and sisters. I have 3 brothers and sisters. With all of our husbands, wives, nieces, and nephews, we have about 45 people in our family. So, needless to say, within a matter of literally 24 hours, some people don't believe this, but 24 hours later, the entire wedding was planned. I had it all mapped out, all the details of the sit-down dinner, the flowers ordered, everything. We'd done everything. So, June 21st, 2008, me and my husband were united in marriage again. It took us 10 years, but that was okay. A lot of people tell me to this day that they're surprised that I waited 10 years to remarry my husband. And I said, why? That's the one that was meant for me. That's the one. He was my first love. He was my only love. Of course, other than cream cheese. He was my only true love. So there again, it wasn't a problem to wait to June the 21st, 2008 to remarry him. So there again, June 21st came. In the meantime, we're going to add 2 cups of shredded cheese to our pasta. It's still warm, so this warm pasta, putting this cheese together, is going to just make this just creamy. It's going to melt some of the cheese and bind it all together, which is going to make it even better. Okay, so June 21st, we all go to the little wedding chapel. It's in a garden, like I said. It's the perfect setting for a small, intimate wedding. Needless to say, my sisters were very happy. I have 2 sisters, and they were not very thrilled with me that I was going to be going halfway across the United States to get married, and they weren't going to be able to be there. So this just all worked out perfect. It may have been 10 years later, but that's okay. It was still perfect. We got married in a very close, intimate ceremony with just our family there. Couldn't have been any better. Then we came back to our local town here and had a sit-down dinner, which of course I was in charge of all the food. I did not fix all the food. I did prepare all of the desserts, which I have to say was pretty good. So, like I said, 10 years later, we did get married. Some people think, I cannot believe you waited 10 years, but it wasn't even an issue for me. But like I said, here's the magazine, and this actually, if you can see, this is a picture of the wedding chapel, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And like I said, we were featured in the magazine. Here's our wedding picture, and then on the next page, it shows my family, my mother and my daddy, some of my nieces and my nephews, my sweet mother-in-law, the inside of the wedding chapel with just our family. This makes me almost want to cry just looking at this again. But like I said, this is how I got the recipe that's called the 2 Hearts Pasta. Because like I said, my husband loves pasta. And this is kind of something that I cooked that kind of warmed, that kind of, I think, got his heart back. Okay, one final ingredient that we're going to add, now that I've gotten all sappy on you here, is 6 slices of a bacon that I've cooked and crumbled really well. So we're going to add that to our dish. And we're just going to finish getting this all incorporated. So now that I kind of got you a little sidetracked on my recipe, let me kind of review what all I've actually put in this bowl. Like I said, I've got 2 cups of cooked pasta here. I've got 6 slices of bacon that I've crumbled together. I've got 4 ounces of pimentas that we drained, that were little diced tomatoes that we, pimentas that we drained. 2 cups of shredded cheese. We've got the 8 ounces of Philadelphia cream cheese, in addition to the 1 ounce pack of the ranch dressing, along with a ½ a cup of mayonnaise, and then also have 1 teaspoon of garlic salt. So let me finish getting this really incorporated. We're going to come back in just a second. I'm going to show you the final product, so come right back. This is called 2 Hearts Pasta. How I won my husband's heart back. After 21 years, we're finally together. The other heart, of course, is Philadelphia cream cheese. How I love this stuff. It is so good. This cream cheese is going to make this such a creamy consistency. It's going to help bind the cheese with the ranch dressing and just kind of incorporate into the pasta, which is going to make this even better. Small bite here. I hope you will give this a try. 2 Hearts Pasta, and always remember, it's never too late to find your true love.